Hello again. It's 12 till noon, 11:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're in the E period in the ES, and it's a good time to kind of take a look and what's happened and what's maybe happening going forward as we've settled down a bit from the early morning news events and the Draghi speech and whatnot. Um, so let's look at the profile briefly. And we had a pretty much open test and drive to the upside. B continued the range extension. We are still within the initial balance. We have not, excuse me, I said continue the range extension. We have not had range extension. B continued to the upside, taking out the A high, the early morning high. And we have since been, have fallen back into the initial balance, and that's where we've remained. As I had said, this seems to be a pretty large initial balance, and that may be where we stay, although it seems unlikely when we do have some potential targets up here. That's a word I don't like either. I need to make a list of these words I don't like and start using a rubber band snapping my wrist. Excuse me. Anyway, we could just rotate around all day. We could also roll back down to the other side. That's another potential thing, as anything could happen. All right, so let's take a look at how these areas have traded. Right now, the colors, I guess this would be blue now. Everything underneath where the market's trading is going to be blue, or potentially buyers may step in and the auction to the downside may dry up. Above will be red. Of course, these are not, since we moved up here, I've not updated these. Let me go ahead and do that, because when we do the review, let me think for 1 second. Yeah, I do want to make it blue because I'm not too concerned about this A period. We've already talked about that, right? So let's make it all blue here. Whoops, I did the wrong one. All right, this would have been a good thing to do before. My apologies. Okay, I guess that's right. It seemed like there was a gray in here. Something's wrong there. I'll look at it later. It's not important. So, all right, moving into the review here. Let's make the chart large. We're still seeing the price action here. As you can see, this is A period. We came up, and this was red at the time. This was a trend line I had. Well, it's obviously not on my my profile chart, but there it is. Anyway, so even without this, it's not important. In fact, I'm going to remove it. Okay, so you can see here we had the consolidation within this little area, and then B, we had some initiating activity to the upside, where we took out this December 19th poor high, which is represented by the tiny light blue dotted line here. Consolidated a little bit, it kind of struggled, and then whoosh, back to the downside within 2 minutes. How about that? Right at the edge here, boom, fell back in, went back up. That'd have been nice long, right? Continue the downside and came down to this yellow line, which I have at 93.75, which I talked about in my pre-market video, as sort of an area where we're bullish above, we're bearish below. I could describe it another way, but that's another term I don't like to use. Anyway, moving on. We have one of my favorite patterns. I think I may have drawn this in the earlier. Gotta be careful. I keep grabbing the wrong thing right by this. So we got ourselves a little. Yeah, I did draw this. We talked about it where I had anticipated this being the shoulder, and it really was more down here. Anyway, so we had that, and that's always fun. So I'm getting to the good stuff in a minute. Okay, there's just some. We've already kind of done all this, so you can see how, boom, right there. What a beautiful long that would have been. Get a couple points. So there's 96.50 to the top of this is 99.25. So that's a couple points there. Could have even gone further if you didn't take it off at the edges here. Came back down. There was a little, some reaction there. It came back down and tried it again, and then it was to the upside, and then You remember I was talking to you at the very time that I said that once we're under here, I turned this from blue to red. I said this is a potential short area. Now, granted, we were within the time that the news, Draghi's speech, and everything was underway. A little risky, and it sold off. Caught some buyers here. Came back down again. Went a little further. Caught some buyers here, and so on and so forth. But then look what happens. We came back up, sold it off again. All right. So this would have been a nice place to short again. Nice place to get long right here. There's lots of little opportunities in here. It doesn't mean that you're going to or you need to be taking every single one. That'd be great. But, this can be very stressful. There's a lot of uncertainty involved, and it's an odds play by and large. But the better your skills are, the greater the odds. The greater your the reliability of what your instrumentation, so to speak, your tools are telling you, the greater the odds. So, lo and behold, once again, everybody who watches this video is going to start using. If you haven't been using head and shoulders, you're going to start doing that. I'm pretty sure. Because why? Because they're great patterns. They are. Where's my ray? How about that? You can have that for free. Why? Because it's not gonna change. It's never gonna change. This has to do with behavior. There you go. So, one little thing that somebody might have, why they wouldn't have taken a short right here, or they could try a short and it may work. However, I'd have been a little leery of it for this reason. I got a little parallel ray thing. I don't know why I'm not just doing that. A lot of time here doing drawings. Okay, see this little triangle? One could argue this as a, I'm going to do a little something here to really annoy people. Okay, I'm going to do a retracement. Where's my Fibonacci? See, I can't pull off the, so here we've got, not guaranteeing, I'm going to say that yellow line is 618, possibly 786, but 618. It's 786. Okay. Very, very tough little area to tell. So 786. How about that? Okay. Now, where am I going with this? I'm going to annoy further. Where am I going with this? I want to keep this on here. So I'm going to take a moment. If you're watching, great. Thanks for your patience. I'm going to leave that on here. And then what I'm going to do, I can cut these off, make it a little neater, nice and neat and sweet. Let's cut this off here. I'm going to do something else here. What's that? Okay. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This, considering it a fourth wave, I would not have wanted to look short here. Oh, I don't know about this stuff. Well, I do. And you can too. Nothing I know you can't learn. What do they say? And what do they sing? There's nothing you can know that isn't known. There's our fifth wave here, going up to this little area we talked about earlier where it might turn around. The volume dropped off on the longer time frame, if you remember from the earlier video. Anyway, I want to do one more little Fibonacci deal. See, some of you think that's a real bad word, and I don't. I think it's a beautiful word. Go from here to here, and I'm looking for the beginning of that bottom ray to be maybe 38.2%. I'm cleaning it up for us. Hide level. I mean, you can see it already, right? Let's clean it up because I think I'm going to keep it there for a while. How about that, as they say on the Dr. Phil show. Okay, I'll get over that joke pretty soon. But it's a beautiful thing, ladies and germs. So there you go. Anyway, I know I'm not that funny. I'm just talking to a screen and no viewers, so that happens. You're talking to yourself. So there you go. There's a little bit of analysis that makes it very tradable. Paints a clearer picture, right? Than this. Let me do this. If my program crashes, I'm going to be kind of upset. This. Well, I thought I could select all. It used to be multiple selection. That's what I have to do. And I did upgrade this morning, so there we go. If I hit hide and it crashes, well, I hope that's not the case. In fact, before I do that, I'm going to save everything because that's happened to me before. I'm on a pre-release, so it's a possibility. Oh, look at that. 2609.75. Now, I sound a little braggadocious when I'm talking like that. I get a thrill, man. I am not, listen, it me. It could have gone rocketing through there. I actually thought in the morning, I wasn't sure, but I thought we might get a little rattling around first. Well, we didn't rattle around a lot. Went kind of took off. I didn't know what would happen. So look at that. Now would I put a short there? No, not necessarily. Maybe considering what I've put together here and knowing that this move probably isn't going to go all the way up here, at least initially. Maybe might have been worth it. It would depend if I looked at order flow and things like that, and this looked like an area where there were people and it held, and then seller started stepping in. I might, Problem is too, if you hit a market order on something like this, you could get a bad fill. That's something to be wary of. There you go. There's another tip for free. I recognize a lot of you already know this stuff, but anyway, I do want to do this. Let me do this here. I got a pretty good night's sleep last night. If I seem a little bit energetic today, and that is a wonderful thing. Okay, multiple selection. I got to find a way to do that globally because I don't like having to say that I have to do it. All right, here we go. Is the program going to crash or not? Ah, wonderful. It did not. Okay, so I cleaned it up, and you can see how, would you have thought to take a long right here? Maybe. Would you have thought to take a long right here? Maybe. Would you have thought to not take a short right here? Excuse me, right here. Maybe. But when you have this, takes a minute. And you know what it means. It's a little bit clearer, So what's going forward? I don't know. This fifth wave could go a long way. And its potential, this is actually, a 1, 2, this is a wave 3, the whole thing. So I don't know. I'm not a wave expert. I just, I know enough to not be super dangerous. How about that? That's all right. it's good stuff. It's good stuff. There's reasons this stuff is important. I think it's fantastic where I didn't draw these in, or these are levels that are off of a newer move, and then it coincides. Here's a 1.7272. Does that mean the market's going there? No, that's not what it's about. It's about um, just the fabric of the universe, really. Okay, gonna get a little too high for some of you, so that's all right. I wave my freak flag high. All right. I don't know if I'm gonna make any more videos today or even this week. So thanks for watching. If you got this far, I hope I made it a little bit entertaining. And if I sound a little bit like when this hit this thing, I am as thrilled about it and surprised about it. Well, I'm thrilled about it, but I'm as kind of wow about it as you might be, because I've experienced years of not knowing what the heck is going on. Why is the market whipping through there sometimes, and other times it stops like on a dime? Why? Obviously there's always an element that is, somebody could fat finger something. There could be somebody who comes into the market, big player, that can just mess things up from what you think might and ought to happen. What even everybody thinks that might not happen. It happens that way occasionally. And this is a global market, and all different time zones, all different players, all different interests. It's fascinating. It's fun. I hope that you love it too. And when things work out, or when things go my way, especially if they go my way quickly, it's like makes me really happy. That it's like winning a game in a way. It's like winning a game. And if you like to win, and most people do, it doesn't get old. It's fun, because I know what it took to get here. I know what it took to learn these things and to get confidence in myself and in the tools I use. And I got miles to go, miles and miles to go. I'm just pretty, I'm climbing a mountain, and I have not reached the summit yet. Let me put it that way. And in fact, I love watching videos about people who climb Mount Everest. Everything from people training and the medical stuff that's going on, to stuff about the Sherpas, the Sherpa world, their life, the industry over there, the problems, the history, you name it. I mean, I got sort of really zeroed in and focused on that for a while, a few years ago, because there were so many similarities to my journey to become a successful trader. And I've got a whole YouTube playlist of Everest videos, and I hope, one thing about playlists is you go back to watch them one day and the video's deleted, or private, or whatever. But I spent a lot of time recognizing that this is there's a death zone in trading. It's like on Mount Everest, if you know anything about it, or Sagarmatha is what it really called. And there's a discipline involved, and there's hardship, and there's pain, and there's setbacks, and many attempts that fail, and people who are strewn dead along the way, and those who think you're crazy for trying. And you get the idea. You get the idea. I think if you've never thought about it like that, I bet I just turned you onto it. I don't mean you're going to go get into it like I did, but you can see the analogy is quite astute. And yeah, I thank the Lord for kind of looking at it that way, because it's helped me endure and persevere. You got to keep your eye on the summit. You got to remember what you have invested, what it's cost to get there, that what it's going to mean if you give up, what it's going to mean to your own person. A lot of characters are made or broken on that mountain. And, God bless them. They come back and attempt again. And sometimes they can't make it for reasons that are, not, most times it's really not their own fault. I mean, the medical deals, and you're part of a team, whether you like it or not, or whether you really think you are or not. You're part of a team, because so many times people have problems because of other people. Anyway, I'm getting way too long on the what do you call it, the analogy here, but it's um it's a really good analogy. And okay, so we're coming back down to this area here where it first broke up. And one thing I've found a lot of times is that where a market breaks out of, it will, when it comes back to it, there'll be at least a reaction. Um, I think that this might be potential. Now, it could be, I got to do this. I hate to do this. It could come down to, like this, the top of this little area here, right? It could come through there, or this could be along right off this level, which, when you get exact, I said it yesterday, I believe, when you're too exacting, now they're hammering, so they're going to come through probably. Yep, they did. They came through. With the price action, when I say hammering, I'm talking about price action. When you see it like jackhammering down, you can almost see it that it's just, so is it going to come all the way down into the 850, or is it going to come out of here at 9.25 or 9.5 right here? Now, if somebody had their order right here, they may not get filled, but if they were right on that line, they'd be in right now and probably a little nervous. I have a feeling that, this is a 30-second chart. At least it should be. It says 1 minute up here, but that's the title of the chart. Is this going to be good for a point, 2 points, 3 ticks, no ticks? I don't know. Kind of looking like a possibility. I think somebody might be able to get a couple ticks here if they're in. That's just me. But at any rate, the way the tempo, another thing to consider is sort of the pace, the tempo of the market. It's lunchtime for a good part of the U.S. and you can see it sort of slowed down a little bit. Doesn't necessarily mean the order book's thinned out, but it's slowed down. Okay, anyway, so there's another little thing for you. So there's your 3 ticks right there. Well, 2 if you got out market, but in fact, I think probably a lot of people just did. A lot of people hit 3 ticks and hit market there because it just slammed down. So we'll see. We'll come back up. Going to get a little zigzag and then up. They're going to flush down to 850. I don't know, but let's see. What would that be? 975 to 875. That'd be 5 ticks to the bottom of this box here, or a tick below it. So, there you go. Somebody's going to get their 3 ticks if they got long on that. How much higher will it go? I don't know. There's a point. Let's move over here. Kind of getting at least it got me off the mountain climbing deal. But oh yeah, but no, I did want to finish the point about character and made or broke. Being made or broken. People go home with their tail between their legs, upset at themselves because many climbers, many go because of the industry now. They can go just for bragging rights, but many who have gone in the past and do continue to go because it's man versus nature. Man, that's one. But that's number 2 probably. Man versus self is number 1, and that's why you'll go and you'll see videos of it, and people are like, "This is my 7th attempt," or I summited in my 3rd attempt, and tried 2 more times, and many reasons why that didn't happen. So that was a nice little long right there. I would say if you want big giant moves that consistently, you're going to want to either trade massive size or move to a different market. Like even the NQ. I haven't looked at the NQ for ages, but NQ, the YM, something like that. But the ES, the problem with trading big size when you're not like, well, I don't want to talk out of turn here because I don't really know. I'm not that kind of a player, but you've got to be right and right quickly. There's so many games, and when you're trading big size, you risk a lot, you lose a lot, and you got to be right all the time. But you don't necessarily get massive, straight up and down moves very often or very predictably, consistently. Other markets that you do, and there's a lot of games that are played in the ES because this is the most popular contract. At least in the past, it was one of the most popular day trading contracts. So there's a lot of people in here who are easily tricked and fooled, and so there's lots of tricks and games to do that. And anyway, so we're back on the profile chart. I think I'm done with the analogy on the trading thing. I want to point out, we talked earlier about a potential quote unquote target being this naked naked TPOC at 14. And I don't know what day it's from. And I'd mentioned in the previous video I wasn't going to scroll back, because if I do, it jumps all around. Well, here I go. I guess I am. Yeah, it's going to jump. It's going to go down too far, and I don't want to be scrolling around. So there we go. So will we get through it? Let's look over at the up here. Might as well put another little little line right here. You know, someone also could look at the contract high. I don't know that this is the contract high. This is just 30 days back, okay? But it's more current volume, and that's like where I like to keep it. So that's another potential area, I should say area. That's a better way to put it. Well, okay, so we're going to talk going forward, and we're going to talk going forward here in a second. It's very important to see a couple of things that are going on. So we consolidated at this level here. You know, we came back, and it's been one time framing up. Not only is it one time framing up, we have a double distribution to the upside, and we are now getting range extension to the upside with no range extension to the downside. Okay, in fact, we have an excellent buying tail, which is it's pretty darn good. I can see eventually it coming back down through here, whether that's today or not. We've got hours to tell. So now at this point, I would want to go back before I took any trades around and up here. I would want to go all the way back to where that here. I think I can do it this way. I lock it. I don't know that's going to jump around. Yeah, I guess it still is. So what's our price? We're at 26.16. So I'm going to go all the way back. See what I mean? It already went down here, and I locked it. $26.16. Still not there yet, you know, back to the beginning of the month. Okay. Still not there yet. So we're going back to possibly November. I don't know. Here, one way to do it faster would be this. We're up here. We got a, we're looking at the beginning of December area. We're looking for December 13th. How did I know that? Oh, my chart only goes back 30 days. Well, that doesn't make sense. How did it, oh, because it's an overnight. There we go. Okay, we've taken out this poor high. Oh, wait a minute. That was on the 19th. Glad I went back here. There's something a little messed up around here. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. I'm glad we did this. Okay, maybe I misdated that. I had the 19th for that poor high, and it really needed to be, it was the 17th. So I was calling it 1219, and you know, typo. Doesn't matter. The date isn't gonna make a difference on how it trades. So this, I guess we have gotten over here. We are. Why am I not seeing the pro? Okay, we're at 26.1250 right here. Okay, yeah, this is a good shorting area in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion, this might be a place to short. On the other hand, as they say, the wagon runs fastest at the bottom of the hill. In this case, the top of the hill, where you get up there and people just think it's going to go up, 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 and they buy. Let's look at the structure over here. Okay, we had a poor high, then we now there's a good high there. It's a good high. It's two ticks, very tiny. You probably can't see it. 2 ticks. I'd even try 1575. I'd either try 15 quarter, 1575, 1625, 16. You know, the edges. The edge are 15. What I'm looking at is this this double high here. Got a double top right here, right here. It's the edge of this volume area. It's basically in the middle of this little red area I drew. You know, but if it comes down, it's, you got to hope sellers really massively push it down, because you got this area again of volume where people might hold it. So I don't know. I'm not giving you trading advice. I don't know if I need to say that or not, but I'm just talking about what I'm looking at, and you know, it's like kids, we're professionals, don't try this at home type of thing, right? So it's your money. Do what you want. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even understand all these warnings. It's kind of like, you know, if you're that stupid, then you know, you almost deserve to lose it. So okay, everybody's got to learn sometime. And all right, that's been a long video. I've kind of like waxed a little philosophical there, which I'm prone to do now and again. But you know, once again, value clearly higher, really good buying tail. We've got range extension to the upside. We've got a double distribution. In fact, we didn't even get back to the IB high by 2 ticks. So we got single prints in E. One time framing up. These are all indicators of forward momentum, but look at the pace. It's pace of tape. It's very slow right now, which is kind of a relief in a way. You don't see that very much anymore, it seems. At least I don't. I'm usually, until I start making these videos, I haven't really been sitting around all day. Used to do that for years. I did that all day, every day, then webinars all the time, and you know, just like, I don't even know the last time I watched a webinar. I got burned out on them. Just, you know, I can't hardly watch them anymore because I spent so many, I was so hungry to learn everything and anything I could from anyone who had something to tell me, and had to sift through a lot of stuff. And that's why I'm here, you know, giving you shots of good stuff. So at least in my opinion, and I don't mean that in any kind of a prideful way. It's like, you know, it's just, I know how hard it is, and you know, got to find things that work for you, and you got to keep things in perspective. Context is everything. Context is king. Context is, you know, I have to bring that up in my relationships with people sometimes. Is like, let's look at the context, you know, of everything going on with them or with me or a conversation or you name it. All right, so that's enough long video. It's the review of and kind of going forward, and it's lunchtime, so I'm hungry. Talk to you later. Bye.